Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the podcast. And today I am talking to the coaches about their clients who always sprain their ankle. I bet that when I say, let's talk about that one client who always sprains their ankle, you can think of somebody or you can think of multiple people. And I think this is another common thing that happens to people, or they have a history of a lot of ankle sprains. I see this a lot in former athletes and runners. I think that those are probably the most two common backgrounds of people that have sprained their ankles a lot. Oh, also dancers and gymnasts. So with that in mind, today I'm going to talk to you about some things to look at in your clients with ankle issues. I feel like feet and ankles are one of those things that are just kind of brushed over in a lot of certifications and programs, and you don't really spend a ton of time learning too much about them, which is a shame because you need to know about them. And I personally ended up having to do a lot of extra research on my own to be able to have the knowledge that I have about the foot and the ankle, because I just didn't get that in any certification or program that I took. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So number one, what you would want to look at is this person's ankle range of motion. So how is their ankle dorsiflexion? If you set a measuring tape on the ground, or you can really just use your hand against a wall and set it 4.5 inches from the wall, have the client put their toes on that 4.5 inch mark, and then bend their knee and try and touch the knee to the wall. You want to make sure that their foot stays completely on the ground during this test, and this is going to look at their ankle range of motion. Now, 4.5 inches is considered quote unquote full. Okay. If the person cannot get that 4.5 inches, then we're going to scoot the toes in to find what is their actual range of motion, right? It might be 2 inches, might be 1 inch, might be 1/2 inch, but we want to see okay, what is that range of motion on both sides? Because a lot of times with ankle issues, one side is worse than the other. So we do want to see okay, what is the range of motion on both ankles? What is the deficit that we have on one side? So that's going to be number one. The next thing you're going to look at is a big toe extension. Now, if I'm being honest, this was one that I learned about this past year. And I'm wow, why didn't I learn this in the first certification I ever took? Because if you think about it, our foot is the foundation of everything. Okay, so anyways, for the big toe extension, to kind of look at that, one of my favorite things is it's called the cowboy sit test. But basically, the client has one knee up, one foot up, and then their other leg is you're sitting back on your knee, but your toes are tucked, right? So we're trying to sit back, but while our toes are tucked. And if someone is not able to do this, or if they're able to do it very uncomfortably, they're oh wow, I can't sit back at all. There's a lot of tension in my foot and under my big toe and my toes, very uncomfortable. And that can clue us in on okay, their big toe extension is not where it needs to be. And kind of going into the next thing there is their foot stability and how their foot moves. So are they able to know what it means to push through your midfoot, right? Are they able to move their foot Or does that feel really uncomfortable to be able to do an arch? If their big toe extension sucks when they go up to like be on their toes, that's going to be super uncomfortable. So, and that is going to impact how they walk, how they run. It's going to impact a lot. So taking a look at that is important. Next thing is going to be foot stability. And what I like to do for this is just like a single leg balance test. And I'm looking at the foot, like how hard is the foot working? Are they able to balance? Like, are we like swaying from side to side? Can I see all the little muscles in their foot like shaking? This is also going to tell you a lot. It'll tell you like about their foot stability and about their balance. And then if that single leg balance test is like super easy, then it's like, okay, can they balance on one foot while reaching across their body? Okay, when they have like a reaching element to it, does that challenge their base of support a little bit more? So this is also going to be important to look at when it comes to their ankle. And next thing, going to be looking at their single leg calf raise ability. Are they able to hit 20 or 30 single leg calf raises body weight on each leg? And how does that look? Are they rushing up and down through it? Are they able to get full range of motion? Are they able to stay controlled? That is important to look at. So how I test this is just having them do like a max effort set on both sides, seeing where we at. If we cannot hit 20 or 30 reps body weight on each side, then we have some work to do. Our calf strength is going to impact, those activities that include running. And so I think calf strength is neglected a lot. So that is definitely one to look at. And then the last concept I'm going to touch on here is plyometrics. So this is another one that is not talked about a ton in typical certifications or programs, but they're like super important, especially for things like running and return to sport type of things. And so when we think of plyometrics, we want to think of like jumping, more explosive type movements, even something as simple as like even something as simple as single leg hopping. Like, is this client able to do that comfortably for 30 seconds? How does it look? How hard does it feel? And this test can also tell you a lot about like that, obviously that single leg's like ability to absorb force. I've had clients do this before that was like, wow, this feels super clunky. I do not feel athletic and bouncy, and this is extremely difficult. And I'm like, okay, if we can't do that comfortably for 30 seconds, we need to be working on this, because if you think about running, you're basically single leg hopping side to side over and over for like a long time. So that's like a really simple test that you can do to look at like how easily they're able to absorb force on those joints. And so your client probably does need to be doing plyometrics, and especially if they have sprained their ankle a lot, because people who have sprained ankles, they typically have like stability issues right to left. So doing something like a single leg pogo hop test could reveal a lot and show you some areas that need to improve. So I hope that this was helpful. And if you are a coach listening to this and you're like, wow, that was really helpful, like I want to learn more stuff like this, and I want to be able to help my clients better with their ankle sprains, I want to be able to know how to program for it, then you should join my Programming Through Pain group program coming up. We are going to cover all of that jazz. There is going to be weekly live teaching calls from me, where for the first 30 minutes I'm going to teach you guys, and they aren't just going to be like boring calls where you just hear me yap the whole time. You'll hear me yap a little bit, but when there's a chance, we're gonna like be active, try out things ourselves, and also leave time for troubleshooting and talking about how this is gonna look when you are implementing with your clients. And I am so excited about it. I think it's going to be so awesome. And in addition to that weekly live call, we're going to have a special Slack community where Tuesday through Thursday, you're going to get access to me in the group Slack. So if you have a client question, you can post in the Slack. If you have a question about a concept that we learned last week that you have a question about, post it in the Slack. If there is a video of a client you want me to look at, post it in the Slack. And so I'm excited about this program because I really want to focus a lot on implementation and helping you guys know how to implement it with your clients so that you're super clear on how you can get your clients better results and save you time when you are creating programs. So if you want more info on that, send me a DM on Instagram, AshleyCrocker127, or you can send me an email, ashley@embracestrength.co. We are in early bird until September 14th. And so that means there's a special price and a bonus. So if you sign up during early bird, you get some extra goods. So send me a message, let's chat about it and see if you're a good fit. Alrighty, I will chat with you soon.